morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone in America, and good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon for anyone in Europe. And you're not watching this live if you're in Asia right now. So anyway, welcome everybody to the Tellman Fellman Show. That's tellmanandfellman.com for those of you that have not got that don't watch every single show and didn't find out yesterday that we finally have our Tellman Fellman Show. No, I'm sorry, just tellmanandfellman.com. Just tellmanandfellman.com set up. We've got a logo up here, and we have the return of a guest from my birthday day, the day that we recorded on my birthday, October 15th. But that was episode 40. I looked it up. Episode 40, Croix Sather was on, and we wanted to do something a little bit different today with Croix for episode 51. We're kind of now past the 50th episode, and we wanted to try something a little different. Today he's going to return he's there. I mean, you guys can figure that out. He's returned as a special guest for a marketing hot seat where we're going to tear apart his business and see if we can find, one or more what we like to call windfalls of success to help him implement. Well, we're not going to help him implement on the thing, but to help him where he can implement it and have success by Christmas. So that's kind of the goal of this next hour. So my name is, again, this is Tellman and Fellman Show. My name is Harris Fellman, and that guy over there.
I'm Tellman Knudsen, and it's awesome to have you back, Croix. Welcome.
And I don't have man in my name in any way, so I'm totally messing this up.
I know.
Yeah, but you are a super badass. You are a super badass. Like, so for that, if you guys didn't catch Croix's previous episode with us, Croix is an ultra distance runner. He also happens to be half Norwegian and a hypnotist and a direct response internet marketer. So he and I have all these crazy things in common. And he lives in New England half the year too. So we haven't gotten together since our last episode, but we should get together for a run sometime soon. Croix, we are on day 15 of 75 Hard.
Is it already? It's been 2 weeks since we last talked?
2 weeks, yeah, October 15th. We're on day 15. I've done both of my workouts already because it's already the afternoon for me.
That's right. We're crushing it. So here's what we want to do. I know that we want to ask you a bunch of questions about where you're at with your business, what's working, what's not, where you're stuck. And we're going to find some ways of helping you sell more stuff, sell different stuff, generate more revenue than you are right now, get greater growth, build your list bigger, perhaps sell at different price points, perhaps repackaging some stuff you already have. We don't know what the solution is that we're going to come up with, but we want to just really, really take a deep dive. And so what I'd like you to do is be as open and honest and as transparent as you're comfortable being with your business details. You don't have to answer any questions. We are publicly live streaming. But the more that you share, probably, the better for us to help you. But again, keep stuff private if you need to keep it private. Completely respect the private details of your business. But for folks who, we just had our 50th episode, and not only do we now have a website and a logo, but we announced that we're actually working with entrepreneurs doing these types of calls. And this is the first one that we're doing a live stream version, right? Where we're going to really dig deep into your business and see if we can find some hidden profit centers, or like what we like to call windfalls. So this is our first Tellman and Fellman publicly streamed windfall call, and we'll see how it goes. Should be fun.
Yeah. Now, some of the questions that we ask, we normally would ask ahead of time. We wouldn't do it like on a call with a client, like necessarily. So there's going to be a little bit more digging because we didn't do that with Croix this time. We thought we'd try it here on the live show and see how it goes.
That's right. So
this is good timing for me because I'm transitioning from one business to another. So this works out really well.
Okay. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the last business or the last iteration of the business and what it was, short version, and where you're moving toward. Like what's the transition that's happening right now?
The last few years I was using primarily ClickBank. I was selling products using ClickBank as the format, as the platform that would sell, that's an affiliate marketplace for anybody who doesn't know. And that's really good because when affiliates email for you, and they sell for you, ClickBank handles all of that paperwork, clerical nightmare, which is super fantastic. The challenge with ClickBank is sometimes ClickBank is a little bit dodgy. And sometimes you get some email affiliate guys that are not so morally in the right direction.
Totally.
And so that was,
yeah, you can speak openly, dude. Just like say what's on your mind. It's all good. Like we've been in this game for a long time. We know how it works.
you got a lot of great people in ClickBank affiliates, but then you got a bunch of scammers too.
Totally.
And they're just playing games, and they're making my name look bad, and I don't really like it. That section of it, like I would Google my own name when we're selling products, and somebody's like Croix Sather scam or whatever the name of the product was at that time. Something scam, and then
and that's the way they sell it. They say something scam, and then but they still sell your product, and that's just how they pull people in, or
that's how they pull people in. Yeah, it was clickbait, and so then it's basically my sales letter is behind that that Facebook. Right. But I didn't like that. I didn't like that kind of gray hat sort of marketing where it's borderline on the edge. And so that I'm moving away from. I still have income coming in from that, and that happens automatically. I do absolutely nothing for it. It's not a lot anymore, but there's still a little bit. But
it's like residual recurring membership revenue or something like that.
Yeah, it's still selling. There are people that are still emailing for it, our regular affiliates, but it's just not as popular anymore because the products have been out there for years.
Yeah.
And our email list has burned out because we've been using the same email list to sell the same kind of products over and over. So I'm starting a new email list for my personal branding, because that one I was selling law of attraction products, which I absolutely loved. And they're fantastic products. Super thrilled with the quality of those. But I'm moving now into my personal brand, which is more mindset, is more specifically mindset and discipline. And then, creating the lifestyle that you want, which is what I'm more passionate about.
Okay. Cool. And so you have this new, so the two websites that you have are Croix Sather and unstoppablemorning.com. Is that right?
Yeah. Unstoppablemorning.com is the new project.
Yeah.
And Croix Sather, of course, is my website forever.
Okay, cool. So,
and then a different one that's on that's ClickBank stuff is Law of Attraction.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of products that are still out there. We have several, and we did well. We did I think about 1.5 million between all the products over several years in gross sales.
Right. Cool. And so so Unstoppable Morning redirects to a opt-in page on Croix Sather, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure I'm looking at exactly the right stuff. So, okay. So, in a minute, I want to hear more about what Unstoppable Morning is and how you're selling it and what upsells you have, what the price point is, all these kind of things. But before we dive into the funnel, where are you at with the business, right? Like, what's working or where are you stuck or what are you working toward? Where does this new version, because the previous business was a partnership, right?
Yes.
And this new version is not a partnership.
No, this is just me, and I'm trying to keep it that way. As we talked about on the last call, I'm following a couple guys like Dan Coe, who's created a $2 million business with 80% profits, and he's a one-man show. He's got a contractor here and there, but generally speaking, it's just him, and he's only working 4 to 5 hours a day on a typical day.
Yeah.
And so that's the model I'm looking for, because I want to keep the lifestyle that I've been living the last 7 years, traveling the world and doing all these cool things. I don't want to sacrifice my lifestyle for the income I want. But now I also want to make the income, where previously I was more about lifestyle and living it up and experiencing the world. And I've been to amazing places. I've lived all over the world the last 7 years, but the income wasn't as important. And now I want to make it that as amazing as the rest of my life.
Okay, cool.
So does Dan Coe teach his model?
He does through his YouTube videos, but he doesn't have a program per se. He teaches people. The way he's making money is he's got a huge following on mostly on YouTube, and then he teaches people how to be better writers. So one of the ways that he made his huge following and his money is on Twitter and YouTube. He teaches people how to be writers and to do the same thing as him. And then he's got some other coaching program now, but I don't think he actually teaches what he does other than for free on YouTube.
Okay. So I'll just say this right now. So before we dive into anything else, the first thing is that you mentioned Dan Coe and you mentioned a couple other guys who are following a similar model when we talked last, and I didn't actually look any of them up afterward. I'm realizing I was interested, but I wasn't interested enough to follow up. And like, if he doesn't have a product and you want to learn his model, that's the opportunity, dude. Approach Dan Coe and create the product with him. You do all the work. He provides the list. Create a co-branded product. You interview him and put the product on ClickBank and set up a ClickBank joint venture deal. And like, boom. Now and I know you just said you want it to be a one-man show, but that is a way, like that's one of the best ways to learn someone's model is to create a product with them and interview him about it. And so that's where my head immediately went. Like, if you really want to learn what this guy is doing.
So that's an idea, but that's not supportive of the goal of building the Croix Sather brand of, Unstoppable Morning.
That's completely, it has nothing to do with Unstoppable Morning, but it's a really cool potential thing to just put in your back pocket, right? Like, that's I guess I've done that so many times in order to get the knowledge that I've wanted, that like it creates two opportunities, right? One opportunity is you get a partnership, you create an income stream, and you get the knowledge you want all in the process, right? Maybe it fires you up, maybe it doesn't, but it is an opportunity that's sitting right there in front of you. And that idea might be really helpful for some of our viewers, right?
And that's essentially how I got into ClickBank with my last partner. It was that kind of idea. So yeah.
Did he approach you or did you approach him?
No, we were friends up until that point, and then we had been friends for a couple of years, and then it came up in conversations like, well, why don't we do something together?
Cool.
And we did, and so his strengths were my weaknesses, and my strengths were his weaknesses, and it worked out really well for a lot of years.
So question, since you brought that up again, are you able to promote Unstoppable Morning from the Law of Attraction, or is it so separate that you don't like, or did something happen with the partnership where you would like, there's an email list there, even though it's somewhat burnt out on LOA, but maybe they would be interested in Unstoppable. Have you done that, or can you?
I haven't tried mailing for that, but we've mailed for other things, and the list tends to be not terribly responsive.
So LOA is very different than mindset then.
I'm sorry?
So Law of Attraction, I mean, for me, I'm into both. I like, and I get benefit from using Law of Attraction on my, my morning ritual, right? Like I spin it together. So it's,
and my new product is based on a lot of those ideas that I did with all of the products I created in Law of Attraction. There is some of that in there.
Right.
So just mindset, to me, mindset and Law of Attraction are basically the same thing, just talked about in a different way.
Yeah. One's a little more magical.
Well, but here's the problem with that, Croix. Okay. Like, and I'm speaking from experience screwing this up over and over and over and over again. Right. So I'm not just like on a pedestal here. Like I've been highly bloodied by this, is that Unstoppable, right, is badass. Like, that's grit. It's drive. It's get shit done. It's motivation. It's like, I'm gonna fucking do this. I'm unstoppable, right? Bulletproof, right? It's like Unstoppable does sound very 75 hardish, right? Like it's got an edge to it. And I had for some reason stacked piles of quarters on top of my 75 hard book that just went flying when I lifted the book up. It is talking about it in a different way, mindset versus Law of Attraction, right? The problem is it's not just talking about it in a different way. It's talking about it in a different language that your people might not understand, know, or be fluent in. And so I've talked about this a little bit on the Tellman Fellman Show, but I've primarily danced between money mindset and marketing my whole career online the last 20 years, right? The two major businesses that I had, one was for about 10 years and the other one was for about 10 years. 10 years in marketing and list building and 10 years in money mindset. And what I found was my marketing students were totally down with buying money mindset hypnosis stuff when I switched from my marketing business to my more mindset oriented hypnosis business. And the way that I bridged the gap, and still to this day, 80% of what they buy, 90% of what they buy are money mindset products. Okay. Prosperity, abundance, all these types of things. And at the same time, my money mindset following, for the love of God, won't buy anything that they can actually implement in order to make more money. It doesn't go both ways.
Yeah, I get it.
It's a much harder sell. And so all my abundance, manifestation, prosperity people, they won't work. They won't even try to, most of them won't even try to work hard to learn a new skill that they can use to make money. They want to say affirmations and have gobs of cash fall out of the sky from a magical airplane. And so it's a very different mindset. And what immediately pops into my mind as I mean, again, these are early impressions. We haven't even really dug into the problem too much yet, Croix, but like, I'm looking at your Unstoppable Morning sales page, which maybe I'll try to bring up here. Let me see.
Okay. Well,
and I agree with you, Tellman, with that, because the law of attraction list that we have, they're much more magical or mystical. What I'm not sure what kind of terminology you want to use, but they're much more in that area than in the like the quote unquote unstoppable area. So
right.
So moving them over to there, yeah, there would be some people that would be.
Yeah, that was just my first. That's just my first question.
But generally speaking,
how does that work out? And then, while Tellman's bringing that up, what's your sales funnel? So they opt into Unstoppable Morning, and then are you not doing Unstoppable on ClickBank now because you just don't want the affiliates? Are you doing no affiliate marketing, and you're
At the moment, I'm not doing any affiliate marketing. I'm open to it with the right people, but I'm not opening it up to all of ClickBank like we've done in the past.
Yeah, if you want, by the way, just since if you do, make sure you talk to me because I have a good inside track at Warrior Plus, and you can approve and disapprove whoever you don't want. So you could just use it the same way you were using ClickBank, the same benefit you had from ClickBank, which is they pay everybody, and you don't have to deal with that hassle. And then you can choose to approve or not approve people, and so just something to think about. That's definitely not the strategy. What is your funnel beyond this?
I have a couple funnels that I'm working on now. The one that you're looking at here goes into from this to opt in for the free 5-day challenge, or if you're going to the journal, it'll kind of do the same thing. Goes into the free challenge, and then the next page is the thank you, which is an upsell into. Depending on which page you're clicked on, either it goes into a membership for $20 a month, or it goes to a $99 8-week special.
Sorry, I have like a plane about to take off in my kitchen because so I keep turning this off and on. So basically you have.
So you opt in from this, and the thank you page is either, depending on which funnel you're in, is either a $20 a month membership or a $99 8-week program. And I'm right now creating, because that 8-week program is going to turn into something much more expensive. I'm just testing it at the moment.
Okay, so let's get like more specific, right? So you opt in and you get the free journal.
On this page, you get the free morning program, the free to start your mornings. If you start your morning strong, you'll end your day strong, and that'll make it easier for you to succeed. So it goes through a morning ritual, kind of like what you're doing with 75 Hard.
Well, but what is it? Is it a video and a PDF? Like, what do you get?
It's all text right now.
But what does that mean? Is it an email? Is it a sale? Is it a sales? Like, what do you actually get when you opt in?
You get access to the membership area, which shows you how to do your morning routine.
Yep.
Breaks it down, and then you get emails every day that shows you how to use it. And I'm currently changing that into video. In fact, that's what I'm doing this afternoon, is starting to record some of those videos, because people love videos more than they do text, generally. Right.
I'm just trying to get so let's not talk about anything that you're doing in the future. Let's just focus on what is now. Right. Okay. And if some of the stuff that you're doing in the future fits into what whoever we come up with, that's great. But I just want to get super clear on what exists today. Right. Okay. So I put in my name and my email. And so first of all, dude, I don't know what service you're using for your email, but like, get rid of this thing that has the code that you have to type in to join your email list. Like,
if I get rid of that, I get gazillions of spam opt-in, bot opt-ins.
Okay, so that may be true, and we can deal with that later. But like, nobody that I know that makes money with email does that.
Okay.
Simple version. I think that it's
What are you using? What
That's Kartra.
Kartra? Okay. Because
Yeah.
I guess if you were using Active Campaign, for instance, you could do what you're trying to do without having to do that. By the way, I do know a couple people that have a CAPTCHA. Your CAPTCHA is pretty rough. I can't. It's hard for me to. It's really hard for me to read it. So that's a piece of it as well.
Yeah. Just get basically, like, it's kind of like Croix. So your thought about ClickBank and the crappy traffic is reasonable, but like, it seems to me that you've cut off like what was actually a traffic source that was paying the bills, and because because of the scammers, right? And like, I don't know if you can. I think you can block affiliates on ClickBank, right?
Yeah.
So that's an option, number one. And I understand, like, hey, maybe, the whole bad name thing with scammy tactics, that might be worth avoiding, but examine your mindset on it, is what I'm saying, because putting up a wall here in order to reduce your opt-in rate, I think, is a bad idea. Okay, like, in my opinion, this is killing your opt-in rate. No matter how much traffic you're getting, I don't think this is a good idea.
With the CAPTCHA.
With the CAPTCHA, like, get rid of it, right?
So the other way around it, Croix, I keep wanting to call you Troy, but Croix is, what we're seeing a lot of people do is to do a small, like even, let's say, a 3 to 7 day hard, like, strong autoresponder series that's really getting them to open. And then if they don't open right at the beginning, then don't mail to them ever again. Or, whatever date you're comfortable with. Tellman might say longer than that, but if you are getting a bunch of, if you feel like you might get a bunch of bot emails, which you will, then one way around it is that I just discovered something yesterday, or this week. I sent a few emails to my get response list. And I'm doing pretty good hygiene. I'm getting 60 to 70% open rates on the last 30 days of people.
All right, rock and roll. Great.
And I thought I was getting 2 to 4% click through rate. I sent an email happenstance without a link in it. On purpose. No, on purpose. Reply to this email. Reply. I did it 2 days in a row, and then I went and looked at the stats, and one of them had a 2% click-through rate, and the other had a 3% click-through rate. And I'm like, there's no opt-in. I talked to.
There's no link to click.
I'm sorry. There's no link. There's no link to click. Long story short, there was a blank space that had an old link in it. So a bot was clicking on that link. So I was able to target those 147 people or whatever it was that clicked on that email and get rid of them. But just to test it to make sure, I didn't tell you this yet, Tellman. I tested an email to those people with another blank link. It's like a human would not click it, and it got like a 75 or 80% click through rate.
Right, exactly.
So basically, my point is there's other ways of doing what you want to do. Rather than because what Tellman's saying is what's probably happening. You're getting rid of 100% of the bad people, 100%, but you're also getting rid of some non-zero.
You have like half of your good people in the process.
I don't think it's half.
Well, you don't know.
Before the CAPTCHA, I was getting 200 to 300 bot opt-ins a day.
There's another way of fixing that. Basically there's tech people that I'm going to go check and see if I have a page that I was getting. I'm going to go look at something really quick on my page really quick. I think it does not have CAPTCHA. And I unfortunately, I don't know the tech way to fix it, but there is a tech way
Well, there are options. And so look, maybe for some reason this does make the most sense for you, right? But like consider the alternative. One is there are a bunch of cleaning services that will just clean leads as they come into your list and make sure that they're good to go and not garbage traffic.
Okay.
We recently interviewed Travis Ketchum, owner of Campaign Refinery, which I've been using for several years for some of my lists, and it's more complex to set up, but they run a super clean service and a super clean system. And he also has a pretty cool thing called the inbox formula you can opt in for. So check out Campaign Refinery.
So basically, I have. So it's on my site, funnybaldguy.me. That's where I have this, and I believe I also have it this way on trafficforme.net. But if you were to go to my site, you would see in the corner that there's a reCAPTCHA icon, but there's no actual reCAPTCHA happening. So I think reCAPTCHA has a service that you can have on your, and I apologize, I don't know the technical aspect of it, but that you can have on your page that is still checking for whether it's a human or not.
Right.
So it's worth a look because you're but it's also, again, you could do it on the other side of it as well. Let's move on.
Yeah. So here's the other main thing that I'm seeing, dude. So as I look at, is it open anymore? Maybe it's closed now. As I look at your squeeze page for the Unstoppable Morning, and I think about like how big is I know it's become largely unresponsive or comparatively unresponsive, but how big is your mailable list from
No, but that's a separate. But how?
I know.
You want to know that?
I know. I'm fully aware it's separate. The law of attraction list. How big is that?
That's last time I checked was around 55,000.
All right.
And are you doing any of the hygiene stuff that I just mentioned, like only mailing the last 30-day opens or 60 or 90 even?
I don't know. I don't personally manage my list. That list that was my partner.
You have to, by the way, whoever's doing that, like you have to do that now in 2024.
Yeah, it's not optional. That's why your list is toast.
Maybe.
And I did the same thing, dude. I did the same thing. So don't feel bad. But like there are ways you can fix this up, and we can totally. So are you able to mail that old list whenever you want to, or not?
Well, I would have to ask him, but he's open to it. Sure.
Do you have to like split the revenue, or what's the deal?
With this new project, no, because we're still good friends.
Oh, you are? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, no, we didn't split up bad or anything. We just
okay. So so there are a couple things that I'm seeing, dude, and it part of it I think is your naming, and part of it is your message to market issue, and part of it is your copywriting habits. So what I'm seeing on the sales page is that the vibe of the copy, of the sales copy, is like, and the pictures is like, manifest your dream life. Like abundance, prosperity, it can all be yours if you just get your head straight, basically. And it like the couple on the beach in the bikinis or whatever, and then or whatever it is. Like it seems very light, right? Very motivational, very like inspirational, very kind of like cheesy Facebook meme, right? Law of attraction, manifestation, vibe-ish. That's cool. But Unstoppable Morning is like more testosterone filled, I feel. And I think if you called it Manifestation Morning, I think you'd crush it with your existing list or with your existing demographic. You might not want to be growing your business to your existing demographic, which is, I mean, is that the case?
Probably, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And so in that case, I would really look at, I'd look at people who have edgier marketing for something like Unstoppable. Like it really seems like a masculine thing to me. It seems like that, like the alpha male warrior crowd is going to be more interested in Unstoppable anything than the
I think it crosses. I think it crosses gender. I get how you feel like it's alpha, and also let's keep in mind you're in the 75 hard mindset right now.
Oh,
But
totally. I'm
what
just
I was
saying.
going to ask him, what I was going to ask him is has he done any work on his avatar actually? So
Yeah, well, that's the next
rather than
piece.
us trying to come up with it for him, have you like I have a set of questions that I got from Johnny Andrews where I this other project that I'm working on, 75 Heart. My idea that it is that I'm so I'm like, okay, what are the what's an avatar for it? And I basically I went into ChatGPT with these sets of prompts, and I got really clear on just like the first market to go after. Do you have any clarity on like what? I know maybe avatar is a magic word. What's the profile of the person or the demographic of the person that you think you're going after now? Maybe Tellman is spot on, and maybe you just don't seem, at least from the 1 hour previously that I know you from, you don't seem like that's your vibe.
No, 75 hard is definitely not my vibe. I find that to be extreme. I find a lot of value in that, but that's not what I want to. That's not what
says the guy that ran 100 marathons in 100 days. But go on.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, mine is, at least at this stage of my life, certainly this stage of my life, if this was 10 years ago, I would be much more into the 75 hard kind of idea. Yeah. But now I'm learning that you don't have to work like a total lunatic to be able to get to your goals. You can do things like now, if you want to run across America again, like if I wanted to do that again, I'm going to have to train like a beast again. And I'm considering it, but that's not what you need to succeed necessarily in life. There are a lot of people that you can model now that are succeeding, keeping a really great work-life balance. I hate that phrase, but you know what I mean? That can have a really great life and still make all the money they want. And that's where I'm going. I'm trying to get away from that idea that you have to work 150 hours a week to be able to make $1 million. I don't believe that anymore. It's not true.
So do you have a feel for what your avatar is then?
Ideally, who I would love to attract is 35 to say 55, mostly men, but definitely would attract women who are people that are entrepreneurial or entrepreneurial-like, that want to create a different life. They're in transition and they're looking to create something different. And the reason they're stuck is because they don't have control of their mindset, and they need to create the discipline and the consistency and all of those things that create the success. Because as we all know, is without the discipline and the consistency, nothing happens.
Right.
Nothing at all happens.
And what are you doing for traffic now?
Just a whole bunch of things like that page that you saw out there. I'm not driving any paid traffic at this point. I'm not using any affiliates.
Wait. You're saying what do you mean? You have a few lead capture pages.
I have lead capture pages right now. Yeah. And I'm posting to social media and stuff like that, but I don't have any paid, and I'm not using affiliates at the moment.
Okay. So sticking to that, are you clear on, is your messaging mostly directed to that avatar rather than it just being here? Is it like, if you're out on social media, what social media platforms are you doing stuff on? Are you putting content out on?
On YouTube and Instagram mostly, and occasionally on my.
That's great. That's probably the probably two best starting points. And then what type of content are you doing on YouTube?
More longer form stuff, talking about this kind of idea that we're talking about.
Great. And then Instagram, you're taking that same long form and making it into smaller clips, or you're doing separate stuff? Or you're putting accessories, motivational quotes up, or what?
No, the new Instagram account that I created for this is specifically to get you to opt in. So it gives you a little bit of a value nugget, and then tells you to go to Unstoppable Morning or Unstoppable Journal, whichever one I'm leading them to.
Okay.
But that's cool. A brand new page, because my Croix Sather Instagram is just about me. I've never used it as a marketing tool. Right. It's just literally me.
And how long have you been doing the social media posts so far?
The new Instagram page is very new, very, very new. YouTube, I've been on and off for a few years, but I've been really getting much more consistent with that. Now I'm producing two long videos a week.
How dedicated are you? Like, how all in are you to the Unstoppable brand? Is that the thing? Are you locked in, or is that
the thing? That's the thing.
Okay, so you want to get the Unstoppable. You want to sell more Unstoppable stuff.
Basically, that's all I want to sell at this point. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say your ideal market is 35 to 55-year-old men,
Entrepreneurial men.
Okay. So I like the name Unstoppable. Like we've already talked about that. Like I'm a fan, right? And I would say your copy on your opt-in page does not appeal to them. That is not copy that is going to appeal to that market.
Okay.
In my experience, it is way too feminine, new agey spirituality.
Are you just talking about the photo? Because the photo I 100% agree with. I haven't read too much of the text. I mean, I have other problems with this landing page.
Well, there's more to talk about. I agree. But like,
well, on the page you're looking at, I don't have any photos other than the couple on the beach.
Yeah.
Okay. All I'm saying is I'm not.
That's me. I'm the one that said that. He's the one that said. He's saying copy. He's saying
copy.
Okay. You're looking at Unstoppable Morning 5-day challenge, right?
I was Unstoppable Morning UNSTOPPABLEMORNING.com, right?
Go to Croix Sather, and then we're on. Okay.
Well, I was there, but it's not coming up for me a second time for some silly reason.
So being unstoppable starts the moment you get out of bed. The morning routine. This morning routine makes you unstoppable. By the way, one thing I did want to mention is you reference yourself on here, but I don't know who you are. Even people that come to you from, I guess so everybody knows who you are if they come to this page right now based on your social strategy. Is that accurate?
Yeah, at the moment they've either found me on a podcast, which I've been doing. That was the other thing. I've been doing a lot of podcasts lately. Okay. So either they've heard me on a podcast, they know me from social media, or they're from my existing, which I have a separate list, which is only about I don't know, maybe 1,000 people.
Yeah.
All right. So look, Unstoppable's cool, but it's way too vague. All right. So let's get really clear. If you're helping entrepreneurial men to like get their shit together and like live better lives, what are you actually going to help them do? Like when they and let's just talk about the highest level. If they go through, they opt into your list, they buy all your stuff, and then they're like, Croix, I want to hire you to work with you one-on-one. I don't care how much you charge me. Here's $100,000 for the year or whatever. I want to work with you once a week or something. Like at the highest level, when you're helping these people, what are the actual real world tangible problems that you can help solve for them with your process?
The big thing that I do with my clients, specifically coaching clients in the scenario you're talking about, is help them get through that mind trash that's keeping them where they are. So they're not doing the things they know they need to be doing. And why aren't they doing that? And so that's what I help them with. The Unstoppable Morning is a free version of how to start that. But the one-on-one coaching is we'll dive into, okay, why aren't you doing the things you want? You want this, but you're not doing anything that's going to get you that. So why not? And for men, generally, it comes from some sort of getting knocked on their ass at some point in their life. Yeah. Divorce, finances, health, something that's happened that's deteriorated their confidence for one reason or another. And they're having a hard time shaking that off. And I've been there too, so I get it.
Yeah. I once had a very well-known entrepreneur in the internet marketing world come to me, and we did a hypnosis session specifically on how to get your mojo back, right? Because like he was having the exact same problem that you're describing. He basically, at some point or another, fell off the rails and like hasn't been able. You're just not able to get back on the train, right? And so it's like, so you help people to overcome procrastination, overcome self-doubt, get clear on who they are and where they're going, and get back into action in their life when they've been going through a paralyzed period or a period of being stuck or financially plateaued. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's I probably can't say it too much better than that. because my clients, generally speaking, historically have been either men that are going through a divorce or something else that has really knocked them out, or they're just simply plateaued and they're just like, how do I get past where I'm at? Those are really the only two clients I've ever worked with. Either life knocked them on their ass, or they're just simply stuck and they don't know why, and they've been there for years.
Okay, well, let's talk about. I understand you can help both. Which one, if you had to choose one or the other, which one do you like helping more, and which one tends to be a better paying client for you?
I like them both for different reasons, but I think the person that's just plateaued is better because we don't have to deal with so much of life's trash. But I probably get a little bit more personal self-gratification out of helping somebody that has gone through some tumultuous event.
Well, and they're also possibly more ready to take action because they're in pain, and you have the solution. You know, they're in more pain, and then you have the solution.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I say this a little jokingly, but like it probably would work. Is starting up the Divorced Entrepreneurs Club, right? Like basically that, maybe not literally, okay, but just get the idea, which is like if you want entrepreneurs that are all fucked up after going through a divorce and they want to get back on track, then like create a support group for them, create a place for those people to go. Those are your perfect client. Now you might call it something different. The target might be different than divorced entrepreneurs, but that's a great example of meeting people with where they're at. It has nothing to do with unstoppable, has to do with the problem that they're suffering from.
But with your traffic strategy, it's spot on. You don't have to use the word, but you need to be thinking about that avatar of the divorced entrepreneur. Boom. What content am I gonna put out for that guy today? And you can actually, like, I guess I was thinking Instagram for a second because it's so small, but for sure on the YouTube long form, you maybe you do this already, but you can like literally address that every month or so, and then what would the avatar be for the other one, the less tumultuous one, but they're both entrepreneur, right? What would be the avatar for that one?
For the plateaued guys?
Yeah, I guess just plateaued entrepreneur. You can just in your mind.
So doing
stuck entrepreneur.
I like plateau. There are some visuals, like some I'm imagining the desert and like a plateau, there are some visuals of like one entrepreneur that's stuck on the plateau down here and another one who's up at the top of the mountain celebrating up here or something.
Little does he know, there's another plateau right at the top of the mountain.
That's right. Yeah, there's always another plateau to look forward to,
Which plateau do you want to be on, down here or up here?
That's right. And so, but like you could totally do a webinar specifically for plateaued entrepreneurs that are looking for their next big breakthrough. And that's actually sounds really good. You should write that down. Like plateaued entrepreneurs that are looking for their next big breakthrough. If you're financially stuck, if you've been stuck as an entrepreneur, if you've been stuck in the same place for 9 months or more, and you want to break through to that next level, then get on this training, watch this video, do this thing with special report. It doesn't matter what it is, but like just directly addressing the plateaued entrepreneur as the focus, I think would like really get you a lot more of the people that you want to help. And then maybe you have 7 different strategies that you use to help people pop out of their plateau and get catapulted up to the next level. Right.
I like that.
So, but that is, I'm an entrepreneur. I want to get to the next level. I'm currently stuck, plateaued under a glass ceiling. I have blind spots around it. I don't know what my freaking problem is. And Croix, can you help me? Right. And so anyway, just in terms of the opt-in, like that could just be a single webinar, right? We're going to do a webinar this week to help plateaued entrepreneurs get unstuck, I think it could be really good. But if you're, again, I would at least do a radical split test on your copy, rewriting it, specifically for plateaued entrepreneurs. Take your sales letter, give it to ChatGPT, have it rewrite it for plateaued entrepreneurs, and then polish it up. But with that said, dude, you're kind of breaking a bunch of the cardinal laws of opt-in pages on your squeeze page. Like, even the psychology and the targeting, like all that aside, what I'm seeing is that I would really recommend that you just do it all above the fold. That you have a good headline, a good subhead, a few bullets, and a call to action, right?
Especially the it's crazy. It's crazy to see the opt-in below the fold, and then the way you've done these bullet points. I don't know if you've looked at it on mobile, but like it basically pushes everything down. Instead of it's not 9 bullet points wide. It's 9 bullet points. Boom. So it's like they're just scrolling for nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
So but to like, that was, I totally, like, that would probably, I don't know. I mean, is your opt-in rate okay, or is it like, it would probably massively, just keeping everything above the fold, like Tellman said, like making it a, that, or maybe, but for sure the opt-in page, the opt-in form has to be above the fold. I mean, and then yeah, if you get really to the point above the fold, make it strong enough. There might be some support below the fold, but for sure like all the CTA has to happen above the fold as well as possible. And yeah, what do you know your opt-in rate offhand?
No, I don't. Not on the way I'm driving traffic to it.
Right. Okay.
Because it's all coming in organically, so I don't know what the opt-in rate is.
Yeah, but that what we track, we improve, right? So make sure even like know what came from YouTube, know what came from Instagram, at least, and I don't know if you can track all the way to knowing what came from a specific piece of content, but because that can be very telling as well. But anyway, go ahead, Tellman.
Yeah. So are you convinced that your current social strategy is going to get the job done for driving traffic?
No, I'm right now preparing to do some paid ads. I'm going to start first I'm going to start with Instagram ads, and then I'm going to move on to YouTube ads.
Okay.
And maybe do some Facebook as well. I might just dabble in that, because we used to do a lot of Facebook traffic, actually. We never did Instagram traffic or YouTube traffic, but we used to do a fair amount of Facebook traffic. The challenge we found with that, other than our account being banned, which I had to unban, which I got it opened up again. And the reason we got it banned is because we had so many different opt-in pages going, because we were split testing, that the Facebook algorithm was just like, you guys seem like you're scamming, and they just shut us down.
Right.
They didn't like our methodology, and we were kind of figuring it out as we were going along too. So it's not like we were doing anything dubious. We just were figuring it out. And apparently we broke through a couple of things that they don't like. So, but I got that opened up again. But I'm thinking that Instagram is a much better way to go these days, because I'm never on Facebook anymore like I used to be. And I'm spending more time on Instagram, and all the ads I see are coming in are mostly on Instagram.
Yeah, you can still do Facebook Meta ads is going to be Instagram. You could still use Facebook ads Meta to advertise on Instagram. Yeah.
How often are you recording longer video content?
Twice a week.
How long?
Anywhere from 8 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on the topic.
Have you tried using Opus?
I'm familiar with it, and I have used it in the past. I don't use it consistently, but I have used it.
Yeah. So if you're gonna be driving social traffic and creating video content, we're integrating this into our processes too. So I'm not saying this out loud to talk to us just as much as you here, but like we do an hour video every day, right? And we're not consistently turning our videos into shorts either, but we're trying to integrate that into our daily process, right? And like the shorts, reels, call them what you will, like they get a lot more traction than long form video on every platform that I can tell, as a general rule. And so if you're going to record content anyway, I really would recommend that you use Opus in order to cut that up into clips and then schedule that in and with Opus and then push it out to get more attention with your little clips. Like that's gonna get you a lot more juice than just recording a long piece, whether it's a live stream or whether it's a pre-record.
And anecdotally, and I don't know if this is true or not, but when I was doing shorts as well as the longs, I got a lot more views on my shorts. And when I stopped doing shorts, I stopped getting as nearly as many views. So, and I'm going to start doing shorts again. So I'll be able to find out more if there's seems to be a correlation anyway.
Wait,
yeah,
so
well,
on YouTube.
wait, no, I think you said that when you were doing the shorts, you said that you were getting more views on the shorts, but you meant when you were putting the shorts out, you got even more views on the long form. Is that what you meant?
When I put the shorts out, I seem to get more views on the long form. And I think that's because I'm guessing because the YouTube algorithm likes to see both. And so they were sending traffic to both.
Well, I think more than that, one, the short should be the short is a traffic source for the long, right?
Yeah.
So they watch the short and they're like, oh, who is this guy? And then they go and see some of the long.
To some extent, yeah. And I think it's also an algorithm thing that
for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. This is actually pretty important. So, Croix, do you know Jim Katsoulis?
I don't think so. I don't think I know that name.
Yeah, so he's an old friend of mine. He's a hypnotist. He lives in Massachusetts, and I taught him internet marketing a bajillion years ago. And he has Program Yourself Thin. He does weight loss hypnosis, and he's a one-man show. And he has been very disciplined for the last few years about how he's growing his business. And I think you could learn something from him. So here's how Jim's model works. And last I talked to him, what was working the best for him by a landslide was TikTok. Okay. So here's what he does. Every day he does a live stream on his own for an hour and a half about weight loss and hypnosis. And he's ready to talk by himself, to himself, or he takes questions and answers live questions and interactions if the audience is big enough. He started just doing this on Facebook and then restreaming it to YouTube or whatever, and that was okay. But then he switched over and he pulled out so he uses his laptop for, I think he uses StreamYard to restream to a bunch of places, and then he uses his phone simultaneously to go to TikTok. The trick with TikTok is that, so here's how the whole system works. Well, just think about it with TikTok, but this really applies to any social platform you're using. And Jim is doing this, but I've seen a bunch of other guys doing this over the last few years with success in radically different niches as well. So when you start with TikTok, you have to just do the shorts because you can't live stream on TikTok until you have 1,000 followers.
Okay.
So what you do is you do your live stream on Facebook and or Instagram or wherever you're doing your live stream. And much to Harris's chagrin, I'm a big fan of the daily stream, right? Like the consistency of it, I find to be very important. I if nothing else, for me personally, I find it to be very important. But I believe, I don't know this with certainty, but I believe that it's very important for your viewers to have consistency in when you're delivering content, because I think people get into habits over time and they start soaking it up. But it's a belief. It's not a fact, right? Jim will live stream every day. And then the way he entered TikTok is he took the live stream and he cut it up into clips. And then he put clips there every day on TikTok until his TikTok was big enough for him to start live streaming. Once your TikTok is big enough to start live streaming, then you post like 3 to 5 TikTok shorts normal TikTok short video posts every day. And what those do is they build your following. Okay, the TikTok shorts and the normal TikTok posts, they build your following. You do it consistently and you have good stuff. And if you keep on making your videos better, more and more people will follow you. So obviously constant iteration. But then once you hit that 1,000-person mark, what happens is your shorts, they essentially build your list on TikTok, right? They build your following on TikTok. But the long form, that's essentially your daily talk show or your daily infomercial. You could think about it. I am also realizing that I have to go and unlock my door here for a second.
I thought that was the bat phone.
Yeah, probably. So I'm trying to process that because I don't know about TikTok, and
It might be changing, but I always thought TikTok was more of a younger demographic.
No, I mean it's definitely got all the ages now, but
Like I'm not on TikTok at all. I find it too addicting.
yeah. Same. I agree. It's difficult, but also, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Does that strategy work on Instagram? It probably would. It's just that TikTok has a much bigger.
The algorithm is definitely more advanced than Instagram. On
But
TikTok is more advanced.
It's also, whatever. According to Hormozy, YouTube #1 for him, Instagram #2, email #3, and TikTok somewhere down there as far as like what the actual ROAS is that he gets from the work on it. And I found that talking to other people that a million views, a million followers on TikTok is maybe the same as 100,000 on Instagram. Like the effect of it, of people going off of TikTok, who's going off of TikTok because they're so addicted. So I just noticed
and
that.
Hormozy talks about that too in a fairly recent video that he created. Is when he was doing the stuff specific to attract the kind of people he wanted, he wasn't getting as many views and as many followers. And then he started doing more like fun stuff, and his follower and views exploded.
Sure.
But his return on investment was lower.
Right.
So he went back to getting the more qualified people with the
Right.
fewer views. It was still a ton of views, but it was just less.
Uh-huh.
And so I've, as much as I would love to have like 10 million followers or whatever, I would rather have 100,000 that are like really into my stuff and
yeah, for sure. Me too.
The raving fan idea. I'd rather have the raving fans rather than a gazillions of people that really don't give a shit.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, how does a daily live stream or a multiple, times a week live stream sit with you anyway?
I'm definitely open to doing a daily live stream or a daily show or some version of that. And I haven't done that yet because I haven't figured out the structure of it that I'd be reasonably certain that okay, this is what I need to do to make it work. So in other words, I just need a plan. And if this plan is like, okay, this is probably going to work, then yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things you can lean on is talking about clients without talking about their names, like something that you did with a client breakthrough or something that could be good daily content. We were also not sure about TikTok when you left, Tellman, but
yeah, I was just kind of fire hosing you guys a little bit there. So,
but the strategy for sure has merit and probably would be magnified with a either YouTube or Instagram, because you can do live.
Here's what I'm hearing as well is that, and this is not from firsthand experience. This is just what I've heard, but in particular from Jim, is that like he's getting really good buyers from TikTok. Like he's getting really using his strategy, and it's totally reproducible. He's so Jim Katsoulis, Katsoulis. Is his name, and then Program Yourself Thin. So look up both of those on every social channel, but really look up them both on TikTok. Follow them on TikTok.
That might also be a market to message match more than we realize too. Like magically make yourself thin is kind of what that sounds like, right? So maybe the young people are just as interested in that as older people. I know there's plenty of older people on.
All the old people are on TikTok too, guys. Yeah. That's at the
Are you talking about us?
Yeah. People our age and older are on TikTok.
That means a new social media is coming out because all the young kids aren't going to want to be on it with all those old folks, and so
that's right.
TikTok's
already old school,
Hey, so we're getting close to the hour. I want to turn it around a little bit. Was there any part of your business that you really that you were hoping that we get to that we didn't? Was there anything?
Well, tell me, you're kind of the email guy. What's working these days in terms of getting it? It's because I'm still thinking the way that I've always done it is, one way or another, you get somebody to your opt-in page, and then you test different opt-in pages, see which one converts. And so that's either affiliates, paid traffic, or social media. And that's still true, or is there something new other than like TikTok?
Yeah. So, okay.
Or is that still working?
Yeah. So it is still working, but the way you handle your list has to change. And and there's not just one way, and there are a few people that feel that go against what I'm about to say. But like, after talking with a lot of people who are actively in the game, in the email marketing game now, and who have been in the past for years and have had to go through changes in order to make things work, like, we've been piecing together what seems to be the universal strategy that's working at the moment. And so, like, all right, so look, like, let's say your target is, I want to say this in context because, like, I really want to have it be useful. So let's say your target is plateaued entrepreneurs. Okay. So, like, you know that you're going to help them get unstuck. You're going to make them unstoppable so they can get back on the train and and start, moving forward in their life again. So, and you're already creating top content on a regular basis. So just rattle off real quick, like 5 or 10 of the topics that you talk about or that you think are relevant to your plateaued entrepreneurs.
Like that's not rhetorical. That's a real question.
Yeah.
So five topics that would be relevant to them. I'm gonna make sure.
Yeah. What do they want? What do you think they want to hear about?
They want to know how to get unstuck. One thing is, if we're talking about plateaued guys, is they want to feel what they felt before. They miss feeling unstoppable. They miss feeling very productive and effective. So they want to feel that again. They want to feel strong again, because usually with guys, there's also a physical aspect as well as the financial or personal aspect. So how do you get your physical body strong again? And that's all connected as well. They're overworked and overstressed.
I like the idea of you talking about inner strength, Croix. I think that's something that would be a really good topic that would bridge the gap a little bit. Inner strength.
And that's essentially everything I talk about. It comes down to inner strength, one way or the other. So they're overworked and they're overstressed, and they don't have clarity on their future anymore. They did in the past, but now they're at a phase of their life is like, fuck, is this all there is?
Right.
And so those are actually the people I really like enjoying, because now they're ready to make a change.
They've lost their sense of purpose. They've lost their drive. They've lost their motivation. They've lost their clarity. They've lost their self-confidence. Right.
And that happens to most guys at some point in their life.
Yeah, it's basically midlife crisis bullshit, right? Like, guilt, like.
So, I don't think it's a crisis. I think it's a midlife awakening.
Well, I hear you, but they don't think that.
Well, society's programmed us to believe that we break at 40 years old or whatever the number is.
It's true, but what I'm reminding you is to enter the conversation in the mind of your prospect.
Okay.
Right? I agree with you. It can be an awakening, or it can just fucking crush you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great short video, is talking about, starting off talking about mental midlife crisis, and then, switching it to, no, it's a midlife awakening.
Yeah, like the truth about midlife crisis, why they happen, why they happen, and how to fix it.
That's my video for this afternoon. Then
do it. So, okay, here's what I would recommend to answer your list building question. All right, like, get a minimal squeeze page that's above the fold where people can put in their name and email and possibly their phone number in order to get on your list and start hearing from you. And that is one of the things that I've seen trending, is a lot more people are requiring phone number.
I was going to suggest that too for SMS purposes. You can at least
I put in a fake number. I never use my real number. I don't know who.
Well, you're not 100%.
Yeah. So Croix, like, you can never, ever, 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 ever look at your own marketing behavior and assume that your market will do the same thing, because your level of self-awareness is totally messed up. You're wrong about what you would do in the right situation. First of all, and I'm not, this isn't you, all of us are all wrong. Our ability to actually be self-reflective about this is very skewed. And the second thing is like, you're writing the copy. You're not suffering from the pain at the moment. And so it's like, so it's just be careful not to decide on what to do with your marketing is based on your own preferences or your own opinion, because like you'll shoot yourself in the foot every time. Or at least that's what I usually do. But minimal squeeze.
By the way, some people don't read their emails, Croix.
Right.
So,
and text message has far higher deliverability and click-through rate than email does these days. Sorry. Right. So a lot of people who have serious funnels and are making bank are requiring phone number. That's something I've absolutely seen. I even saw a squeeze page recently with no email address. Put in your name and your phone number and we'll follow up with you.
Wow.
Right. And I was like, whoa, I haven't seen anyone do that before. That's exciting. Where the first step is phone number, not, like what a cool idea. We should try it.
Well, I mean, it makes a lot of sense since 70% of the traffic is on your phone anyway.
Yeah. It does make a lot of sense. And, again, you don't know until you try. But I would have a super clean squeeze, name, email, phone number, and maybe just to make it easy, have them opt in for a webinar. And if you want, I'll do the webinar with you. We can schedule it in for next week. Just to move it forward. And it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a slideshow. It can be a headshot webinar, but like where you really bring them through how to get unstuck, how to break through that plateau. Right. So that's the first thing I would do. Second thing is I would absolutely follow someone's sales process for writing your sales letter or your VSL, selling your first thing. Okay. So, and maybe you are, maybe you're not.
It's really tough to get people to opt in and then thank you page immediately to a $20 a month thing. That's going to be really tough. Maybe that's going to be a $1 trial or something like that for them to have the first month for $1. But
I still wouldn't do it.
It's really, really tough for that to be the first thing after a free opt-in. So like more leaning towards your some one-time purchase.
Yeah. One thing I've been heavily steeped in for the last year or two is Alan Sultanic's automatic clients model. There are a few other.
This is especially if you're going to be doing Facebook ads and YouTube ads, or because it basically, this model it's a low ticket. It's a self-liquidating offer model where you do a really low ticket offer, and then you have a bump of a medium, not medium, but another low ticket, but not as low as $5, and then you have an upsell that's could be $197, $297, and then a second upsell can be your community, your membership. So just something to think, and then that way all of that makes you enough money to keep advertising and scaling as big as the audience is, which you have a very big audience. So very big potential audience. So that's the whole point of it. And then you've got your coaching, as you mentioned, which is the whole, it becomes the icing, not the icing on the cake. That's the cake. If you make money on the front end, that's the icing on the cake. If you break even on the front end, you're golden,
So, and it's a large, complex, very detailed model that takes months to set up for the first time for most people. So another, like Onyx Singal is teaching, I think he calls it
self-liquidating offer. Yeah.
Self-liquidating offers, which is a low ticket front end, similar process. But I would,
which is how we sold millions of dollars of products, was with between a $7 and a $47 product.
Right. And so what I'm suggesting, and I've done this in the personal development world for over a decade, is sell a front end hypnosis session for $7. Have a $29.95 bump. In my case, for the wealth hypnosis workshop, you could have the Unstoppable Entrepreneur workshop, or the Break Through Your Plateau workshop, or the and that, you know, a 3 or 4 hour webinar that ultimately drives people to ask about your coaching program, whatever that is on the back end. And then I would offer a free trial to your paid community or membership as the first upsell.
And by the way, people sell challenges. You've got a 5-day challenge. People sell challenges.
Yes.
You know.
On that note, yeah, like selling a 5-day challenge on the thank you page after they opt in for a webinar or something like that would be great, right?
Because then they get the accountability. They get the accountability aspect of it and the gamification aspect of it, and then they're taking it seriously. They, you know, I would love to see somebody have the guts, a promoter to have the offer owner to have the guts to like offer a, like, this is a $99 and you get your money back if you complete it or something like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like you, but you're still committed. By the way, just while we're mentioning challenges, it's worth looking at. I don't want to deep dive into it right now, but it's worth looking at 75 Hard because they actually do offer a challenge, and they're not the same model that we're talking about right now, but they're basically he details what the challenge is, which is a very heavy challenge, and as you can imagine, most people are not interested in it. And way more people would be interested.
Yeah, most people are like, fuck that.
Here's what the challenge is. You don't even have to opt in for it. I'm not suggesting this necessarily in the context of this, but it's worth looking at. And then it's opt in, and then there's books to buy and you know, other things to get. So
yeah, his model is a little bit different because he's at a different stage in his different place. His business.
Yeah, well, his model is totally different, but it's still using a lot of the same components. There's a challenge, there's a book, there's an app, there's an email list, and he sells a bunch of stuff, you know. So like he has it arranged in a different way, but he's still using a lot of the principles. I think, and we've gone over an hour here, so we're going to wrap up soon, Croix. But I think that there's a problem with Unstoppable Morning. Okay, and what I mean by that is like, I like Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. It makes me look forward to my morning, right? And like that idea, it's like, that's nice, right? Let's have a nice morning. It will be a miracle. The sun will come out. There'll be a rainbow. I'll be drinking my coffee on the porch, you know, with my dog next to me. It'll be great, right? Whatever, you know. The Unstoppable, I still feel is very, and I'm into it. Like I like it, but morning feels like a time for peacefulness and serenity and happiness, or like clarity and calm. And so, becoming, I think I don't know if anyone is doing anything with it now, but a few years ago, someone had the Unstoppable Entrepreneur, but like becoming an unstoppable entrepreneur, like, yes, that's something I will do. You know, it's like Viking style. It's something I would do. I
want to ideally be somewhere between 75 Hard and Miracle Morning.
Right.
They're both great programs, but like nobody wants to be in 75 Hard all the time. And the Miracle Morning, while amazing, nobody, you know, it's too fluffy eventually. Like there's no context. There's no like growth in that after the initial growth. It's great in the beginning and you get from where you are to a different place, which is fantastic. But then after that, the growth kind of stops. And where Unstoppable Morning it's about always growing, always becoming better, always improving your life and being able to create that life that you really want to live. And so I think there's a huge gap in the middle that's missing, and nobody's filling it right now, as far as I know.
Yeah, what I'm just saying is that the naming is weird. Like the two words feel mismatched to me. Magical Morning, I'm down. Like, Momentous Morning, maybe it would confuse people. But like even Motivation Morning, right? But I'm suggesting that you consider whether you need to lean on the morning part. Maybe.
Well, I have the Unstoppable Journal too, which is I had the same journal but in a different branding a bunch of years ago. Was #1 on Kickstarter overall, and so I've updated that to my current philosophy, which is very similar to what it was before, but just tweaked much better. And so now that's Unstoppable Journal. So right now I'm in the testing process. Does morning work better? Does journal work better? Or do they both work and they're just different avenues to come into the business?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know yet.
I mean, the amazing journal that helps any entrepreneur break through their plateaus and become absolutely and become unstoppable again. Something like this. Like, that's pretty hot, right? Like, the journal's a thing.
You almost said the word journey. Unstoppable journey sounds kind of interesting as well. Yeah, I don't know about if it replaces the Unstoppable Morning Challenge, but
that might be another funnel to bring people in.
Yeah,
maybe.
Unstoppable journey,
I would definitely do break through your break through your plateau thing. I would definitely consider like doing a daily live stream, cutting them up into shorts, trying it out on TikTok. Get a mobile friendly squeeze page and build a minimal squeeze page. And dude, if let me know if you want to talk it through, or you want to, I have some pretty clear pictures in my head of what would probably work a little bit better for you. And
I would just like to add that Unstoppable Journey, the rock group Journey's #1 song was "Don't Stop Believing." So
that's right. You can just have that playing.
I'm feeling your next speaking engagement. Don't stop believing.
Yeah, play at the beginning.
I actually met Journey on a small fundraiser.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we were in New York City in a basement bar, and it was a local fundraiser, and the guy who was running it happened to know the Journey. And so he called them in. And so we're there, and I didn't know they were going to be there. Nobody told me.
Yeah.
And so all these cover bands, these high school cover bands were playing all these songs. And this other group comes in, and they're singing all these amazing Journey songs. And I look at my buddy who's running the event, like, these guys are fantastic. They sound just like Journey. And he's like, you idiot. This is Journey. But this was years after their prime, so I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, totally.
It looks so different.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so Croix, I have to bring this up because I feel I would be doing you a disservice not to. Oh. Okay, you're focused on entrepreneurs. That and getting them unstuck, getting them break through their plateau. And we need more entrepreneurial language on the squeeze page and your sales pages instead of manifestation-y language, ideally. However, we did talk about school, and you were like, I don't like school. I left school. Yeah, I did. I'm doing my own thing. And that, again, may totally be the right choice. But considering I was struck as we were talking about entrepreneurs and the plateaus and and then the next plateau up on the, there's always another plateau. In my mind, I was just, I was imagining a catapult on each one of the plateau, like catapulting an entrepreneur from one plateau up to another plateau, flying through the air, kind of human cannonball style. And
just to put it out there before you say it, Croix, Tellman and I have been deep diving into school the last couple of weeks and really getting a deeper understanding of it. So
and so I'm second guessing you a little bit. And so here's the question: is that, like, when you started your school group, what was it called?
Similar to what we've been talking about today. It was
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. I started that with Unstoppable Morning.
Okay, Unstoppable Morning. And who did you invite? And was it free or paid?
It was both. It was free, and then there was an upgrade to paid. Yeah.
And you said you had a hard time getting people to register for the free school group. Is that true? Or did you not?
No, what I didn't like about it was the process couldn't be done automated.
Right.
So when they opted into something, you had to approve them, and I had to go in there manually approve them.
Right.
And that was one thing. And the other thing I didn't like about it is if you were already in there, you came on the free program, there wasn't a cohesive way to get them to upgrade to the paid one.
Okay.
So that so in other words, it wasn't designed by internet marketers or online marketers. It was designed to be a community, not to be a marketing tool. And I was hoping they would change it, but after months of being on there, as far as I know, they still haven't changed it.
Well, I think it's designed by marketers that want to use community instead of funnel as the ascension model, instead of like the normal funnel that we are used to as marketers.
And I get that, but Hormozy is talking about, go free, and then when you get big enough, then go paid. Right. They don't make it easy to make that transition. There isn't an automated way to make that very easy. And that was my big problem with the school as a platform. generally speaking, there's most of it I loved.
Yeah.
There was just a couple things I didn't like.
Fair enough.
I can't. I haven't started a massive community. We have a very small paid community on School that we're just getting our feet wet with, and
we're using the automatic clients model to put them in there. We're not using the free community ascension model yet to do that.
We are going to, right? Like, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just saying yet.
Our intention is on the marketing side to start a free group, and I'm going to start one in the money mindset side as well to serve my existing list and audience all my hypnosis people. And so what I've been going through a lot of training inside School that's not just by School, but that's by other people that are, trying to get you to buy all their stuff as they teach you how to use School. And what I was struck with is the visual of entrepreneurs going from one plateau to the next plateau, which is really another level, right? And School is it's all gamified for the levels. And so,
and that they do very, very well. That I really liked.
Yeah. And so, again, maybe School isn't the thing, but I would suggest that the manual approval process is in part to force you to interact more with your people as the community leader, right? Like it seems like there is a lot of manual human to human interaction going on in School, and that is arduous, but it also creates community, it seems like. So it might be worth the payoff. The other piece is that, like, if you want people to experience the unstoppable process, right? Like, free group to paid group, there's a lot of very inspirational, and what I have seen is very thorough training available, both free and paid, inside School on how to do that. So it might be something worth exploring more.
And for you guys teaching something like this, where you're teaching teaching internet marketing or some version of that, having a community could be very, very good, because you go in there, you ask questions, you get help. Like, I'm part of a couple of Facebook groups. In fact, you turned me on to one, Tellman, and you can get a lot of great answers, questions answered there.
Totally.
I agree with that. But then if you go I think with my audience, I'd be serving them better if I got onto a live Zoom call with them or a live webinar with them and then answer their questions live, as compared to do a chat. Well,
that's available. You can still do that on School. That's like, it's there. You have a calendar that you can schedule people. So if you're level 4, you're allowed to get on our weekly,
VIP call or whatever.
Weekly group call, weekly.
Yeah, which is always on Zoom or whatever. It's not on School.
Right. Exactly. So building out your community around Unstoppable, I think, could be one way or the other. I would like. That's also something. Again, School is not the only platform. There are a bunch of platforms for communities, right? And so one way that you could do this, Croix, is you could have your opt-in be for the community, free community, right? If community is going to be part of it, and so put in your name and email to join the Unstoppable Entrepreneur community, right? Break through your plateaus and take your business to the next level.
And then all the content is delivered through School rather than on pages. Yeah.
Right. And then you can still sell and promote your one-off content, your workshop, your low ticket, your recurring membership models, and all these types of things.
Yeah, and then really using School as a platform to get people to consume and take action on the challenge, right? Like that's really what it's doing for me. It's like I have there's this one group that I'm in that like I bought the workshop, and I don't really want to start it yet because there's like a challenge to get a perfect score or something. And I'm like,
I started that one last night, Harris. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So I'm like, well, I'm not ready to commit to watching a video whatever it is of this every day. I'm really busy, So anyway, it works on us psychologically. So that's interesting. It has.
But that goes back to what Tellman was saying before, that we can't look at it from our perspective, because I don't want to do a 5-day challenge either most of the time or anything else. But that's us, where the average person who's not in our world sees everything different. It's like, oh, wow, a 5-day challenge. Like, I've done Russell Brunson's 5-day challenge a couple of times, but that was back when I was earlier in my internet career.
Oh, I would do a challenge right now if it was like we're in we're building some things mode for sure. I mean, I do a challenge every day. Tellman challenged me to do a live stream every day, and here I am. And unfortunately, it looks like I didn't stream this one. I set it up, and then I haven't been streaming it, so that sucks. But anyway, nobody's gonna know because I'm just gonna repost it as soon as I get it from Tellman, and that's gonna be that. But on that note, I think we should get going. We're getting towards the top of the hour. It's almost been 90 minutes now. I hope you've gotten some value from this.
That's right. Yeah, Croix. What we just spent almost an hour and a half together here. What was the most valuable part of the call for you?
You bringing my attention to the things I know that I'm doing wrong.
Cool.
I know there's certain things that I need to do. One of them is I need to have more opt-in forms of different sorts, find out what the language is that's going to resonate with people. That was important. You said a couple things in there. I didn't take notes, but I'm going to go back and actually fast forward through this video and get to those parts. One was about halfway through, one was 3/4, and one was just recently. I was like, okay, I got to go back and rewrite that. In fact, I might even have this whole video transcribed.
Yeah.
There's a great happens automatically on Tellman's YouTube. So it's going to post because it's from StreamYard. It's going to post on Tellman's YouTube, and then I don't know if it happens immediately, but for sure I've been able to copy some of the transcripts from the past one, so I know.
Oh, you can copy the transcripts from my YouTube?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Rock and roll.
You got to do it You got to do it manually, but you can do it. Yeah.
Right.
The copying.
The text copy, the transcript. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
If that doesn't work, I just send it to Otter OI, and then
easy. Cool, man. Well, if you need any more clarification on any of this, or you want to talk through any more of it, please reach back out and let me know.
Sounds good. And then I got to come up there and we go for a run.
Yeah. Well, I'm running every day right now, sometimes twice a day. So.
Yeah, I'm strong again. I'm running solid, running nice 9-minute miles again, solid.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, let me know when you want to come up. I'd love to see it.
You're still probably stronger than I am, faster than I am. You always have been.
Whatever, dude.
I run. I think I run 9-minute kilometers. I think
nice. Rock and roll, Croix. Thanks for jumping in, and thanks for jumping in last minute. I really appreciate it.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Croix. It's good seeing you again.
All right, guys. Well, Croix, this rocked. And guys, if you want to, if you're an entrepreneur or business owner and you want to get on a hot seat and have us do a windfall call with you, go ahead and opt in at tellmanandfellman.com and reply to the email that you get, or DM us directly on whatever channel you're watching this on, and let us know you're interested in being on the Tellman Fellman Show as a hot seat or as an interviewee. And we would love to chat with you about it. That would be awesome. And again, Croix, thank you for being the first one to try this new experimental format we're messing around with. Rock and roll. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow morning.
Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.